The Empire was everything the stories had promised: immense fleets, towering warships glinting with alien alloys, and creatures whose very presence made lesser species bow when the humans arrived at the edge of their territory. The Empress herself observed them through a massive viewport, her multifaceted eyes narrowing with curiosity. The human delegation had been deemed insignificant, a minor species barely worth consideration, and yet the humans came anyway. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the human ship Resolute, his hands resting lightly on the control panel. Around him, his crew busied themselves, each movement precise, professional, as if they were part of some intricate dance. The humans were outnumbered, outgunned, and clearly fragile in the eyes of the Empire. Yet there was a spark in their eyes, a light the Empire did not expect. Approaching the Imperial docking station, "Captain," the navigator reported, "they're scanning us." Elias nodded. "Let them scan. Keep shields up, but minimal response. I don't want to start a fight." The Empress watched as the human ship maneuvered calmly through the docking bay, engines humming with a confidence that was almost reckless. Her advisors hissed warnings at her, their voices sharp with indignation. "Your Majesty, these creatures have no concept of protocol. They cannot comprehend our technology, our superiority. They are curious," the Empress said simply, her gaze fixed on the human crew. "And curiosity can be dangerous." The humans docked and disembarked with a calm casualness that unnerved the Empire's guards. They were dressed in sleek utilitarian suits, and their expressions held a mixture of confidence and amusement. When they reached the Grand Hall where the Imperial Council convened, the room fell silent. Silence, and then the first sound that would shake the Empire's perception of these puny intruders. Laughter. Elias stepped forward. "Greetings," he said, his voice clear and warm. "We are humans. We've come to meet you, not to fight." The Empress tilted her head. "You are aware of our power, of what a single command from me could do." "Yes," Elias said, his tone steady, "but we've met the powerful before, and we've learned, sometimes the mighty make mistakes." A ripple of confusion passed through the council. They had expected fear, trembling, or at least some form of respect. Laughter was not in their calculations. And yet, the humans laughed not mockingly, not out of defiance, but in sheer disbelief. You dare," one advisor started, but another stopped him with a wave. The Empress was amused. She motioned for silence, and the room hushed, waiting. Elias gestured to a holomap of their fleet. "We've seen your ships from afar. They are impressive, but from the calculations our scientists have run, your fleet's maneuvers are predictable. Your energy shields are powerful, yes, but they overheat after prolonged engagement. Your drones are precise, but their coordination depends on a single frequency. We've fought similar systems, and frankly, it's funny how easily they can be tricked." The humans' laughter was quiet, restrained, but it spread through the hall like a ripple. The Empress frowned slightly. "You think yourself clever. We think ourselves realistic," Elias corrected. "We don't expect to survive by sheer strength. We survive by creativity, by unpredictability, and sometimes by sheer absurdity." The council whispered among themselves, panic creeping into their thoughts. Aliens who could manipulate matter with thought, species that had endured wars spanning millennia, were now being laughed at by a simple human delegation. How could this be? "You have come a long way," the Empress said slowly, "yet you underestimate the consequences of your presence here." Elias leaned forward slightly. "And yet, you underestimate something too." The Empress's eyes narrowed. "Explain." "Humans adapt," Elias said. "We make mistakes. Yes, we bleed, we die, but we learn faster than most species can predict. We improvise. We laugh at what terrifies others. That is why you cannot truly calculate us." The Empress felt the weight of his words. They were correct, in a way no empire had accounted for. Humans had always been small, fragile, expendable, but they were also unpredictable, clever beyond measure, and astonishingly bold. "You speak as if you are not afraid," she said. "I am," Elias admitted. "But fear doesn't control us. Laughter reminds us that even the most serious threat can be met with courage, and sometimes a little humor is more powerful than a weapon." The Empress studied the humans. The crew remained calm, composed, yet there was a spark in their eyes that could not be denied. It was raw determination, tempered by wit, and the faint glimmer of chaos. This chaos the Empire could not understand. "Very well," the Empress said finally. "Show me that. Show me this human cleverness." Elias smiled. "With pleasure." The first demonstration was simple. A small human drone rolled into the center of the hall. It was tiny, unassuming, almost comical, but as it activated, the walls of the chamber responded in strange ways. Doors that should have closed remained open. Holograms flickered, and the air shimmered as the drone manipulated the frequency of the Empress's energy shields. The advisors panicked. The humans were tampering with systems that should have been untouchable, and yet no one was being harmed. The humans moved with precision, testing boundaries, learning the reactions of the Empire's technology in real time. Elias chuckled softly. "See, you're strong. Yes. What's your rules? They have cracks." The Empress could not deny it. She had grown up believing in the absolute perfection of the Empire, and yet these humans, frail and odd, found the cracks in her world with ease. "Show me more," she said, her curiosity now fully engaged. For the next hour, the humans performed feats that seemed impossible. They reprogrammed security drones mid-flight, created holographic decoys, and even managed to make a fleet simulator go haywire all while smiling, joking quietly, and laughing at the absurdity of some of the Empire's rigid protocols. "Humans are strange," muttered one advisor. "They are tiny, yet they defy logic." "Yes," the Empress admitted, "they are not strong in the way we measure strength, but they possess something we cannot contain. Their spirit, it cannot be calculated." Elias approached the Empress, his gaze steady. "We don't seek to conquer, nor to belittle. We simply exist, and when we meet the mighty, we see them as they are flawed, like all of us. And sometimes, it's hard not to laugh when the mighty trip over their own rules." The Empress considered this. For the first time in her life, she laughed, not a mocking laugh, but a full, deep, resonant laugh that echoed through the hall. The humans laughed with her, and suddenly, the atmosphere changed. Fear and tension gave way to a strange camaraderie. "You may have underestimated us," Elias said, bowing slightly, "but perhaps we have underestimated each other as well." "Perhaps," the Empress agreed. "Perhaps there is more to strength than raw power. Perhaps humor, creativity, and audacity are just as important." From that day forward, the humans were no longer seen as a minor species. The Empire, vast and formidable, had met a species that refused to bow, that laughed in the face of danger, and that found freedom in defiance. And the humans, for their part, knew that laughter was not mere frivolity, it was survival, strategy, and sometimes the most human way to face the impossible. The encounter ended without bloodshed, without a single shot fired, yet the impact was greater than any war the Empire had fought. Reports of human laughter spread through the fleets and colonies. Scientists studied their improvisation, soldiers analyzed their unpredictability, leaders debated their audacity, and everywhere, the simple act of laughing at danger, a tiny, fragile human trait, became a legend. Elias and his crew returned to their ship, tired but triumphant. "Do you think they'll remember this?" one of his officers asked. "They will," Elias said, staring at the stars. "They may not admit it, but they'll remember. Humans don't just survive the impossible. We make the impossible ridiculous. And when the mighty see that, sometimes all they can do is laugh." As the Resolute departed the Imperial docking station, the Empress watched them go, still smiling. In the silence of her chambers, she whispered, "Humans, dangerous and strange, yet remarkable. Perhaps we have learned something today." The Empire had met humans, and in their laughter, it had met something new, unpredictable, unstoppable, and entirely unforgettable. For the first time, both sides realized that power was not just measured in weapons or fleets, but in courage, creativity, and the audacity to laugh when the universe itself seemed intent on swallowing you whole. And somewhere deep in the stars, humans laughed again, not at the Empire nor at themselves, but at the sheer, beautiful absurdity of it all.